You're listening to the Daybreak Show on Rockcity 101.
Thank you so much for staying tuned, and thank you for joining us once again on Citizens from Daybreak Show, Rockcity 101.9 FM, the voice of the people. This beautiful Wednesday morning on Citizens Forum, I mentioned earlier that we'll be looking at the SARS hashtag SARS agitation, which of course is now metamorphosing into hashtag SWAT agitation, because an average Nigerian youth still believe that nothing concrete is being done by the government or the police to actually nip in the bud police brutality, police harassment, and the endless killings that have characterized the activities of the SARS. That's the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The protests have continued to grow across the country, not only in Abuja. It's happening in Lagos, it's happening in Kaduna, it's happening in Benin City, it's happened in Ibadan, Ondo Town, Owerri. Even abroad, New York, Paris, Geneva, UK, Dublin, and we saw that of Port Harcourt yesterday, Abaru. Òkúta also, the capital city of Ogun State, also had its own protest, and that has continued in Berlin, in Washington, Dallas, Jos. It's almost across the entire 36 states of the Federation, with the Nigerian youth standing together as one and asking for one particular thing, which is end SARS. But of course, there were 5 demands by the youth. What are these demands? 1, immediate release of all arrested protesters. 2, justice for all the deceased victims of police brutality and appropriate compensation for their families. 3, setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct within 10 days. 4, in line with the Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body of all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed. And 5, increase the police salary so that they are adequately compensated for protecting lives and property of civilians. That number 5 is very, very key and important, because that emphasizes the fact that the youth are not actually fighting the police. They do not hate them. It seems that they are even fighting for the police, especially when it comes to their betterment and, of course, their welfare to be adequately taken care of. We are not all blind to how poorly remunerated the police are, especially if you take a trip to their police barracks. It's actually in deplorable condition, very, very deplorable condition when you look at the police. But the issues of brutality, harassment, indiscriminate arrest, and detention have continually trailed the activities and operations of SARS. So not to talk about the killings, the loss of lives. Vibrant youth who have a very great future ahead of them have been caught in their crime. But now that the IGP has actually accepted and given to the demands, there's 5 demands of the youth that was announced yesterday. The IGP also issued a directive that all SARS operatives should report to the Wadata Plaza at the headquarters in Abuja for psychological and medical evaluation. That question would then raise head. Is it that the IGP also agree that his men needed psychological and medical examination before now? So what actually stalled such psychological evaluation? You also have the IGP announcing a creation of a new unit which will now continue to engage criminals in the country, and that is the Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, codenamed SWAT. But this is not new. If you recall, SWAT has been in existence in the Nigerian Police Force even before now, but they were not visible. What you usually see is the SARS, all right, or maybe the IRS or the Rapid Response Squad, RRS. You know, those are the squads or units that you readily see on the street. So what else should be done to actually put a stop to the protest endlessly? Is it that the IGP has not done enough to actually hearken to the voice of the people? Is it that there is a crisis of confidence and total lack of mistrust when it comes to the people, the youth especially, who believe that SWAT is SARS in disguise? Is that true? Well, we'll be looking at all this this morning just to arrive at one particular destination or conclusion, which is to ensure that there is no further loss of lives or destruction of properties, and that there is an end to police brutality, harassment, and killings, and a total reform of the police. This is also part of the agitation. And one thing that this has actually brought to the fore once again is that the youth can actually come together to demand accountability, transparency, and demand good governance. And this is just one step in that direction. It seems that the youths who were called lazy and misguided and wasted generation are now beginning to wake up, to rescue and claw back the country back on track. That is what we're looking at this morning on the show. I am Tobi.
And I am Simiat, Abaru. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
This morning, we are being joined by two gentlemen. I don't know whether they are really gentle. We'll find out. First on my right is Habeeb Whyte. He's a legal practitioner based here in Ogun State. He's also a human rights activist. He's also a youth ambassador, actually appointed by the Oni of Ife himself, Oba Enito Gosi. Thank you so much for joining us, Habeeb Whyte.
Thank you very much.
Are you gentle? We'll find out. And the second gentleman joining us on the show this morning is Opeyemi Ajala. He's an internet entrepreneur and, of course, a public affairs and political analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start with you, Opeyemi Ajala.
Yeah.
What exactly do you think created or led the people or the youth, basically, to start this NSAS agitation? And if you answer that, the second leg is, how justified is this agitation?
Okay, let me just say that this NSAS agitation did not start this year. It didn't start last year. It has been on for a number of years, for about 5 years or thereabouts. And it's a culmination of all the anger and tiredness at the continued oppression and treatment of the Nigerian youth as an by an occupation force that has brought about this movement. But we've had various protests, agitation against the NSAS to end the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police Force that has been going on for years. And part of those agitations are culminated in the various reforms, disbandments, and all that we've seen in 2017, 2018, especially the one done by the then acting president, Yemi Osinbajo. We've seen all that. But this latest round that has been going on for about a week or so was precipitated by the callous killing of a youth in Port Harcourt. Another one. There is no week in the last 5 years that you will not have reports of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in various parts of the country dastardly killing people, framing people for things that they did not do. Especially when they profile youths for maybe having a bushy hair, having a bushy mustache, using a particular brand of phone or the other that they feel is too expensive. So the killing has been going on, the framing has been going on, the extortion has been going on. And the Nigerian youth woke up last week and it started with a small protest, just to protest that one killing. But because the Nigerian state seems to be deliberately and purposefully deaf to its youth and citizens, they refuse to do anything about it. Rather, they brutalize the peaceful protesters. And every single time they brutalize the protesters, they get more protests. The protest has now gotten to the level of the mythical Hydra. You cut one head off, 3 will grow back. So, is it justified? Yes, because the killing has to stop. The framing has to stop. The illegal extortion has to stop. The Nigerian youths for long has had the police, especially the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, kneeling down on their neck. And this particular round of SARS protest is just the youth saying, I can't breathe. Help me. I can't breathe. So yes, it is justified.
Justified. Okay, cool. It's a quick one because I've heard this in different quarters that this NSAS protest and agitation is standing in solidarity with fraudsters, criminals, and ritualists who we all see live a life of affluence and all that, all whatnot in the society. We also see them. They are fraudsters, or how else do you explain a young boy of 22 years driving a G-Wagon of 25-30 million? So we see all that. Do you agree, or how do you respond to those who believe that this protest or agitation is standing in solidarity with this set of criminals who truly should be either arrested by the relevant authority? I don't know whether SARS has that jurisdiction to attack fraudsters, who truly should be the ones to arrest them and prosecute them, or that this set of people are the ones sponsoring this agitation.
So, Tobi, this is my answer to them. If this protest was about supporting fraudsters, why is it not NDFCC? Because the EFCC is the organization that has the jurisdiction to prosecute internet fraudsters, and they've been doing it. And every single time in the last couple of years, where almost every week you get that they arrest 18, they arrest 16 boys, nobody has ever protested once, because they are professional. They do not extort, they do not brutalize, they do not kill wantonly, they do not frame people for murder.
They arrest the fraudsters
and charge them to court. And then when people say that it is internet fraudsters that are championing this, I laugh. Because you've seen corporations, world-class certified corporations, I don't want to mention any name because I'll be giving them free adverts. They've come out since last week to say, look, our employees that are carrying laptops around because they need it to work at home during the weekend and all that, they get brutalized, profiled. Inyaboyeji, who has built about 3 or 4 world-class startups, internet startups that has won many awards across the world, came out last week and said, look, when he was building his startups, his phones never die in the middle of the night because every other day he has to go and bail out a young internet programmer, a young graphic designer, he has to go and bail them out from the clutches of SARS. Else they will be framed for murder. And for each of those bills, he pays nothing less than 100,000, sometimes up to 400,000, depending on the SARS unit. So people like Inyaboyeji, who has suffered this, are the ones that are putting their money down, that say, look, enough is enough. On a TV program yesterday in Lagos, on a television station in Lagos, people from abroad called. At least 2 people called. One has been abroad for the past 13 years. One has been abroad for the past 9 years. They said they cannot come to Nigeria because of the post-traumatic stress syndrome that they have been suffering because of what SARS did to them. Those are the people that are sending in money that, look, I am for you people. End this thing. Let me give you another example. There's a venture capitalist, a white woman, that's one of the first people that tweeted her support to this. Because she said she and those venture capitalists. So venture capitalists are people that bring money into the economy to come and invest in startups. She said she arranged a number of Europeans to come to Nigeria to come and meet young entrepreneurs that are looking for money.
I saw the woman.
Yes, that's, look, meet young Nigerians, listen to their ideas. They've started these companies, but they need more cash to take it to where it's supposed to be. Maybe they're employing 5 people now. By the time they grow those companies can employ 500 people. They can employ 1,000 Nigerians, young Nigerians. She said that when they got to Nigeria, they had at least about 5 different levels of harassment, not from RRS, not from EFCC, not from CID, not from other units of the police, but the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. So those are the people that are funding this. People that, the Oni of Ife, Oni of Ife came out and said that his own daughter has suffered from this same Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Is Oni of Ife a Yahoo boy? How can you say that the deputy governor of Osun State, who came out yesterday and carried a placard stating that he also has suffered twice from these same people before he became a deputy governor, is he a Yahoo boy?
Okay, Habeeb, Whyte, it's very important that we look at this issue from the legal angle, and that is one of the reasons you are here. Would you say that these protests of the agitating youth, Nigerian youth who are standing together, is backed constitutionally, and they have legitimate reasons to protest and go about their protest in a peaceful manner?
Now, let me say this quickly to those that are listening to us. The basis of right begins with freedom and liberty. And when you have freedom, when you have a liberty, it means that you can assemble freely in a particular place and show your emotions known to those in authority. You have the right to freedom and peaceful assembly. That is coming together of persons with the same interest to fight a common cause. Now, our agitations, end SARS brutality, reform the Nigerian police system, and end SWAT, as we have it, is a product of various persons with the same mindset that we need a change. I'm going to share some examples. Even as a legal practitioner, I have been intimidated. I have been harassed by the men of SARS almost, I would say, twice in a week. Almost every time. They have this perception when they see a young boy driving a car, whether it's a fraudster or not, they believe you are a fraudster. And that becomes so very insensitive of them. We have a lot of young ones that are doing very well for themselves in their legitimate businesses. And is that what you pay them back with as a country? Calling me a fraudster alone will give me a lot of trauma. A lot. Because I work day and night. Nobody's paying my bills. I'm the one doing it myself. And the time I need to enjoy myself, you not tell me I'm a fraudster. You start beating me. You start doing this. I have been at the Obada SARS station once upon a time where a fellow young lawyer like me was slapped by a SARS officer. I'm saying this is a real life story. A lawyer was slapped by a SARS officer. What do? We wanted to take it up and everything. What do you tell us? We're sorry, don't worry, he was angry, it was this, was that. It shows they don't respect anyone.
All right. One of the demands of the protesters is that the salary of the police should be increased to be able to protect lives and property. Are you saying this is a catalyst for the brutality being experienced by young Nigerians by SARS operatives?
No, it is not. Let me tell you something. This country, we have so many systems that are not working in this country, and they are not giving us issues. Look at our teachers, for example. You don't get their salary at the right time. Look at our pensioners. Why are they not going on the streets, start killing people? Start extorting people? Why? These are people that are even suffering more than the police. Police officers are being paid very well, to an extent, from records. If you are saying because you are not being paid, that's not a moral or a legal justification for you to terminate a life, a promising life. Every week you kill people. For what? It's not even your job. The primary assignment is this: protect life and properties. Help us get rid of armed robbers, kidnappers, ritualists. These are your core objectives, your core duties. On a broad daylight, the way they will approach you, the dressing, and every other thing is just I don't know. It's just somehow.
Oh,
It's painful. Seriously, it is just painful that we are at this stage. I don't want to go emotional about this.
All right,
Because
okay.
when you read a lot of things every day, you start wondering, is this a country?
Okay.
All right, let me redirect the question to Ope. Why do we have the increment of salary of police in the list of demands from youth?
Well, it's everybody know that the living expenses in Nigeria has steadily been climbing in the last couple of years. Of course, we see the state of the police barracks. It is dilapidated. We've heard stories from policemen how they are the ones that have to actually sew their own uniform and provide some of the amenities that they are supposed to use to do their job. But we should not treat it in microcosm. Yes, their pay should be increased because what they do is a very dangerous job. Yes, but they should not use that as a pretext to kill Nigerian youths. They are not the only ones that are underpaid and overworked.
What is it?
Bank tellers they get underpaid, but they do not use that as a pretext to commit crime. Everybody manages. They should also manage Nigeria like that. And if they know that the pay is not good enough for them, like our ministers are want to say every time, they should go to farming. Maybe they say farming is profitable now. They should go to farming and make more money. They are not prohibited from farming even alongside the work of police that they are doing. Maybe even if they go into farming, then the cases of cattle and header clash will reduce because they would form a security band on the farm settlements. Maybe they will do that.
Okay, now I want to ask Habeeb. People have talked about the pockets of violence and skirmishes here and there during the protest. Is it true that these protesters are attacking men of SARS and policemen with weapons? And if it is true, are there evidences to back these attacks up?
Thank you very much for this question, because the basis of the excuse of the IGP is that his men are being killed on a daily basis by the protesters. Now, I want to say this categorically. We have not seen any piece of evidence to buttress this fact. And we can show you millions of evidence to show that Nigerian police are shooting. I'll give you an instance in this state. The protesters were told, or we saw, that they approached the Owu Day celebration. We were told, we saw the video. I saw a particular video, the way the policemen were shooting. I begin to ask myself, are they doing a police and thief game? Because if you are seeing people are shooting, nobody shot at anyone. Even the cars that you said they are vandalized, it was from the gunshot of the police people. The videos are there. We never edited any video. It was a live video. So it is never a justification or anything. Now, if you are saying the youth are taking to arms and weapons, I would not say it is not possible. I would not say that. Because we are in various numbers. The bad element, we have the bad and the good elements. But on this side of this protest, I think we have more of the good elements than the bad elements. You will not say because of a single action of one bad element to not judge the greater intention of all Nigerians. This issue of SARS is not about us only. It's about a lot of persons in various countries. A lot of persons that you not even believe will even come to this trend. They're always following this trend. We now have a global power. That's what they don't know. We have a global power now. And I think there's no excuse of how many police officers have been killed. How? The one who I even saw that as lady was shot by a fellow police officer. So these excuses are not tenable. They are not. It's not a judgment for you to kill Nigerian youth. It's not. They're not tenable, with all due respect.
Okay. Now, there are a series of meetings going on between the government and the protesters. It is very important that we begin to look at the solution rather than the problem. The IGP has said that they have accepted the 5 demands. They have set up SWAT, or they have said SWAT will take over the new tactical unit that will continue to fight criminals. What then should be the end game of this agitation by Nigerian youth? Maybe you want to take that up.
Okay, so the war chants or the battle cry or the rallying call is end SARS. But that is just one point out of 6 agendas. I want to ask you, as the policemen released all arrested protesters, Benue State yesterday, some people were arrested. The police commissioner has refused to allow them meet their lawyers. It was when on Monday in Surulere, we thought there were 6 people that were arrested, including the manager of one of Nigeria's fast rising musician, Oxlade. It was when Oxlade was eventually released by the combined pressure of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Governor of Lagos State, and 2 House of Assembly members had to physically go before they released him. The police area commander refused to take orders from the CP. It was when Oxlade came out that he told the people, the lawyers, that look, there was one young boy that I met inside that he had been arrested and nobody knew. And it was until late yesterday night that the lawyers could secure his release.
So you believe that this is not done in good faith?
It is not. The police has not shown any good faith.
Okay.
Any. There are people arrested in Anambra. There were people arrested yesterday in Delta. There were people arrested across the nation. They have not been released. That is just one of it. Justice for all the deceased victims of police brutality and appropriate compensation for their families. This is also another point. Jimoh Ishiak was killed in Ogbomoso on Saturday. The police has not gone to pay a condolence visit to the family. They've not admitted that they were the ones that killed him. In Surulere, we saw with video evidence, real time, how a young Nigerian was about to be framed for murder by the Nigerian police force. They have not apologized to that person. The police officer that was killed while being within the protesters. So the police shot at the protesters. They didn't know that one of their plainclothes officers was within the protesters and killed him. That was what was then they now released the press release from the Lagos State Police Command said that it was protesters that killed him. Now we have video evidence that it was the police that killed him. What is the name of the officers that shot their fellow police officers? Do you know? Have they been prosecuted? Have they been charged to court? The police also said that 2 kidnapping suspects were liberated by peaceful protesters from the cell. There is no evidence to back that up. We don't have the name of any of those kidnapping suspects. They have not apologized for the beating of young Nigerian ladies that we saw.
So the video, yes.
Yeah, we saw the video. They were already in custody. They had absolutely no weapon. They were not resisting arrest. They were descended on by policemen and women.
More than 20 policemen.
Yes,
More than 20
policemen.
One
One of the young ladies said that she had to piss on herself because the beating was too much. She had to let her bodily functions go. No apology. The IG has not apologized. He had not come down to Lagos. He had not visited the family of the unfortunate driver that lost his life. He came down to pee. They shot at him. His hand was in his pocket as he was dying. He had no weapon. They dragged Oxlade's manager on the ground into the police station and attempted to frame him for murder without any murder weapon, without anything. The police killed one of their own and tried to frame a Nigerian youth for it. Now, this is one that we captured on video. What happened to the millions or the thousands of the ones that could not be captured on video? And this was in Lagos, where, of course, there is plethora of mobile phones. What happens in the backwaters of Buninyadi, in the backwaters of Otukpo, in the backwaters of Abakaliki, in the backwaters of Edwabo? What happens in those places? Who will record those things to ensure that those kids are liberated? The mother of that manager that was dragged on the floor, 70-year-old woman, was slapped by a policewoman.
I saw the video.
She was slapped. No apology. No genuine contrition.
So are you saying, Opeyemi, that these actions of the police makes it difficult for the Nigerian youth to trust them with all their overtures?
It doesn't even make it difficult. There is actually no trust. There's no trust. You're setting up a committee to implement the 5. How many committees have we had in this country? Then the committees will send the report. Then the report will be, they will send it to another committee that will release a white paper. And then the white paper, we have to beg the president to gazette it. And then when you now gazette it, it will not be implemented again. So action speaks louder than words. The Nigerian youths have gotten to the point where they say, look, all these Oyinbo, we know. They come again. We know all these things. We want action. Action speaks louder than word. Some people are already calling for the sack of the IGP. Now, let me just give the government this for free. Imagine that the president wakes up and says, look, I understand. Live address, I understand. I relieve the IG. I relieve some DIG that are in charge of this things because clearly they've not done their job very well.
You think that would douse the tension and the situation?
It will go a long way.
It will go a very long way.
A very, very long way.
What do you make of that? The inability of Mr. President to wake up and think of addressing Nigerian youth.
He doesn't care about us. It's very simple. The president, I'm saying categorically, the president do not care about us.
All right.
Because it took the president more than 3 or 4 days to even give us a live address. More than 3 or 4 days, and you can go and commission tricycles and everything, and appoint your aide as national for INEC. Very easy for you to do. And you're having pressures are being mounted. Nobody's going to work. Roads are being blocked in a country where it's functioning, where we have laws, and you do not do anything. It's unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate.
I wouldn't.
They have messed with the wrong generation.
I wouldn't.
Very, very unfortunate.
I wouldn't say that the president does not care about us. What I think is happening is that the older generations that are surrounding the president are the ones feeding him with misinformation that these protests are fueled by internet fraudsters, are fueled by criminal-minded people. Because yesterday, the donation link that people all around the world has been using to donate for logistics. So when police shoot Nigerians and they get to the hospital, Nigerian youths are donating money to treat them. Nigerian youths have decided to take up the burial expenses of the driver that was killed at Surulere on Monday. So the link that they've been using to
same way they have been clamoring to know the family
of that
SARS person that SARS killed.
That SARS killed.
To pay for
yes.
you
They're the ones. Nigerians youths have said, look, we can crowdfund for a lot of things. We've been accused of crowdfunding for entertainment. Now we are crowdfunding for things that happen that affect us. Nigerian youths are crowdfunding to provide first aid at venue of protest. You understand? The CBN yesterday suspended that link because they said that they claimed that they believe that the people that have been donating money are terrorists. Is Inyabo a terrorist?
Is Habeeb a terrorist?
Is Opeyemi Ajala a terrorist?
All right. Actually, some have said that the actions and inactions of the men of SARS is actually a reflection of how our society is at the moment. You get to see corruption in almost all our institutions. You talk about nepotism in government employment. You talk about unequal distribution of the resources and how those in power continue to dominate over others. In one word, oppression taking place everywhere in the country. So in this... we want to know if this is an attempt to put an end to oppression itself everywhere in the country, or it's only about SARS and their brutality.
I'm going to say this, and I'll say it again. This generation, we are set to end all forms of oppression. This is just a clarion call. It's just the beginning. Because when we end this, we have things that we have tabled down to do. We are coming from PTN. We are coming from DSC, we are coming for all of them. We are even coming for good governance. It is not about SARS alone. We all know how the country is as a whole. Yes, but a step, when you take a step to do a particular thing, it means that you have made effort. When you make effort, a lot of things will follow. So it is just, I'll say, tip of the iceberg.
Let me just chip in and say that this protest has been led mostly by the Gen Zs, the people that are called Generation Z.
Yes.
Now, these are the people that were born between 96 and year 2005. if you look at 96, Nigeria got back to democracy in 99. The oldest of them will probably be 3 years old and does not know the left from the right. So we are looking at a generation that has never been under military rule. All they've known is democracy. So we are millennials. You know, we still have all those hangovers of military rule, the Abacha era and all that. But you see these young ones, they are very, 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 they have democracy in their blood. Their voice, if you don't want to hear their voice, they will come into your room and scream. They want to be heard. They want to be. They're the ones that are pushing this. And what we are seeing now is actually a generational struggle. The Generation X people, the baby boomers, those in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they do not want to listen to their kids and their grandkids. They have they cannot understand how people are organizing without having a central pushing a central body that is pushing it. They don't understand. They fail to understand that this is the people that grew up using Facebook, where everybody is decentralized, but they are actually effective. They do not understand that. And I think these are the people that have, because they surround the people in power, and some of them are also the ones in power, they have refused to understand fundamentally that somebody that is a graphic artist that is working in Nigeria and has clients from around the world will get payment in dollars. They refuse to understand fundamentally that not everybody is hush puppy. That it is only, the way they are saying that only a few bad eggs of the Nigerian police force is giving it a bad name. I'm saying that it's only a few bad eggs amongst the youth populace that are internet fraudsters and are given, they have assumed that, and they refuse to listen. They have refused to listen. We've explained over and over again. We've done videos, we've done WhatsApp messages. They just stick to this, their idea that every youth that has afro on his head, that keeps a long beard or has dread or even a tattoo of sexual expression. I mean, you love Africa so much and you can draw a tattoo of Africa on your chest saying, this is how much I love Africa, or even a map of Nigeria, this is how much Nigeria is always in my heart, and the SARS police officer will see you and accuse you of being a cultist.
So what exactly do you want the government, and of course the older generation you mentioned, what do you expect them to be doing as a matter of urgency?
Yes, our demands are clear. I keep saying this. The demands are clear. Everybody's saying it on the streets. What else do they not understand? They are saying end all this impunity, end all this brutality. This is not an assault strike that you have people that have negotiating on the table. Why should I negotiate with government when everybody's out there on the street kind and saying this is what we want? What they should do is meet this demand. It's very simple and very easy for them to meet. Meet it. There's no need for negotiation. No need for any table talk or anything. We have said it. We don't want this. I'm not the only one saying it. He's not the only one saying it. Even the market, we are not joining the race saying it. It's everywhere. Even government of other country officials are saying it, that please, down to the tune of your people, do not end your own economy, your own self. This should meet the demand. Listen to the cry of people. The people who say the voice of man is the voice of God. You should listen to the voice of God now.
And this is the voice of the people. This
yes.
station
So now,
let me just say this. Let me just say this. See, Nigerian youths are not asking for regime change. We are not asking that the government should be changed.
No.
We are not asking that we should be given light. We are not even asking that we should be given water. We are not asking for good roads or anything. We are simply saying stop killing us. Stop extorting us. That is it. Stop killing us. Stop extorting us. All this dance around changing of nomenclature. What we are not. You've done it before. You changed SARS to FSARS. They were still killing us. So all this dance around, we've seen it before.
But wait, why can't government even take all these SARS officials to
Sambisa
or to Bono? No.
To go and do what?
To go and fight Boko. This is where we need them most.
They are very competent.
Yes, they are good with all these things. They have helped us to reduce armed robbery at the point in this country. We give them kudos for that. So now they should help us reduce Boko Haram. They are killing our brothers in the north. We don't know if they have killed our future president now. President will have been in Nigeria. We don't know yet. So they should just send them there. Go and fight those ones. Yes, deal with them ruthlessly over there. Then we'll praise you more. We'll give you accolades. And it's time for the Nigerian Police Commission itself to please help their officers develop. Either be seasonal trainings. If an official is doing well, encourage that person, motivate that person. Because all these things too, they add or subtract to the way an army officers will behave. Because if you hear the story of some officer when they tell you in private, you will be sorry for the whole system.
Now that takes me to the issue of some experts who have said that ending SARS or ending SWAT is not going to solve the entire problem of the Nigerian police because of the mindset of an average Nigerian policeman. That mindset needs thorough change for you to have this total end of police brutality, total end of police harassment and killings.
Yes.
How do we go about this reformation of the mind and mindset of the average Nigerian police?
It will not be in our own way to say that these things are happening within the system. It takes somebody working in that system to know the wrongs, the ills. But from what we've read, from what an officer have said, there is this officer, the name is an undercover officer. It was on YouTube. The woman was a policewoman. She was saying that it was not all about SARS, that the SARS unit itself, she said categorically that unit is one of the systematic schemes of the top police officers to milk.
It's the most lucrative.
It's lucrative, yes, to milk and take excessive money. They can tell you that for SARS in the whole of the country, they have budgeted 10 billion. That 10 billion, nobody can question because they will tell you SARS are everywhere. They are working, those people are working, and yet they are not even empowering those officers themselves. So we will need a police officer to tell us what is going on. This process is not even about us only. It's even for them. This is the best time for them to amplify their own voice, to tell us these are things that are wrong. Help us fight for, help us call for this. After all, we have them as our fathers, as our mothers, as our uncles, nephews, cousins. They are Nigerians. So this call is for Nigerians. We need them to come out and say, help us fight, help us. These are things that are wrong with their system. We need to fight for this.
Okay. I have police neighbors, and sometimes we sit outside and we talk, and you will be shocked at the rot in the system. But the simple solution to this is very simple. Let there be consequences for bad behavior. Abdul Rashid Maina stole police money, allegedly. And for years now, two different governments, they've not been able to get the money back or prosecute him. There is no consequence for bad behavior. On Monday, a police officer shot another police officer and killed him. The solution of the police command higher up was to cover that up and accuse an innocent Nigerian for that killing. So even police officers are killing police officers and there are no consequences. And that is a problem. Let there be consequences for bad behavior. The reason Nigeria is as it is because there are no consequences for bad behavior. If a police person errs and you discipline that person, you know what the Yoruba say now? Something if a police constable see a fellow police constable do something bad and sees that he or she is punished, he himself will caution himself when he wants to go bad. Another thing is this: why is it like Barrister Femi Falana said, why is it Nigerian police force? If you go to other countries, it is Nigerian police department, Nigerian police services. Yeah, the Nigerian police behave like an occupation force, as if they have come to colonize us. Why is that? So it has to be those two things. One, let there be consequences for bad behavior. Two, let the police focus more on the services that they render, not on the force that they can bring to bear on the Nigerian people. That will solve all this problem.
Okay, now that takes me to the very cogent issue of the new unit called SWAT. What form should that take? What should be the suggestions of the Nigerian youth to the police to make it legal? You have people have said, Habeeb, that this pronouncement by the IGP is not backed by law, there is a need for the president to actually issue an executive order and the like. So does that even make any sense, legally speaking?
I think a lot of people know that we have SWAT in the police system before now. Yes, before now. It's just because they are more of undercover agents than we now used to have it now. I think it was just a response from our agitation. A lot of people have been saying dead on arrival. I do not see as that. I don't want us to start agitating for that. This SWAT unit is under the Nigerian police force. So it is legal for them to now pronounce it more. It is not about any certificate or not. No, it is not, not like that.
But do they have enough personnel to prosecute the war against armed robbery and criminality?
You know, the IGP have told us. You all listen to this broadcast. He said even our SARS officers, they were taken back to various units. So I know that they're coming back to this unit of SWAT. They're coming back. That's the most insistent thing about this whole thing. And that's why when I had the news...
What must be done to prevent this same overzealous and high-handed SARS officials that people have identified that are killing and harassing Nigerian youth not to get back into the SWAT?
Now, it is time for the Police Service Commission to please ensure that they put senior officers in those various units. An average Nigerian police senior officer would not even want to die. They fear death. They love their lifestyle in the office, their AC, nice uniform and everything. So let the police system put them there. They should be doing that going to the street. They should put them there. They'll behave very well. Because when you are putting younger officers, they are not well coordinated. An average officers, a DPO is senior to an average of officers. So now we want all those senior ones to now be in charge. Let them be the ones in charge, not the junior ones. Let junior ones go for trainings, and then go for other. Let them lead by example. Lead by example. Don't be in the office and leave all the junior boys or junior and everything, facing everything alone. It's not good. So they should bring the senior officers to the SWAT unit, not all the other officers.
I would like to agree with him, and this is because the Rapid Response Squad of Lagos State, I have not met a single person that has anything bad to say about the RRS of Lagos State. Even the QRS of Ogun State, have you heard them? Have you heard anybody
complain against them?
Against them? No. So the Quick Response Squad, the Rapid Response Squad, they have commanders, and those commanders have been doing a very good job of ensuring that their officers follow the law. I mean, RRS officials in Lagos, they will say that if you want to, as in you want to appreciate them and give them money, you are begging them with money. They will say if they are a guy here, they will be in soup, and that is what we are saying. So if the IG want us to trust in, one of the things is that it should tell us the modalities by which they are going to ensure that it is not these killer policemen that are going to go into SWAT, number one. Number two, one of the ways of ensuring that these policemen do not go into those into the new SWAT is by prosecuting them for the crimes that they have done, which is one of the points that the protesters is asking for. Prosecute them. Let there be consequences for all their bad behaviors. It's as simple as that. When you tell us that 500 officers have been charged to court for extortion, for bribery, for illegal arrests, when you tell us that and you show us and we see the court records, then maybe we will start trusting that the remaining officers are not killer policemen. Maybe.
Okay. If you're just joining us, this is Citizens from Daybreak Show, Rockcity 101.9 FM. This morning we're looking at the NSAS agitation of the Nigerian youth and the demands being met by the IGP, a creation of a special weapons and tactics unit, SWAT, which will continue with the activities of fighting armed robbery and criminality across the country. What is the way forward? We have in the studio a legal practitioner, Habeeb Whyte, and Opeyemi Ajala is an internet entrepreneur and public affairs analyst. In case you want to be part of the show, yes, you can definitely do that, especially if you're on Twitter. You can tweet at Rockcity FM, or you join us on Facebook. Rockcity FM 101.9 is our fan page.
08107860000 or 0701-132-7096. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tobi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, my friends in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Dr. Onkon from Ashero Estate. Beautiful speech. I didn't expect anything less than that. I can estimate your age because of the way you spoke. And I want to sing a small song. I'm not sure you are old enough. Ohio police is the craziest. Washington is the craziest. This one is the craziest. That's in America. That's what the black people were singing about police brutality. And when some of them entered police, they were not better off. I agree with you, what you have said. But when you said that this thing is being funded by external forces, because I was wondering, you said they don't have money, they're not employed. But they could fund that amount of what I saw, and the placards were beautiful placards. I knew something was wrong, I knew we were in trouble. For whatever reason, when someone from Switzerland, from UK starts funding that type of thing in Nigeria, then there's no reason why Boko Haram, fear, and all that cannot fund it too. You cannot Dangote funding it, whatever funding it, but when you start having that, that is why in the American president, you can't fund it from outside no matter how you feel, no matter how you think you are. You can't fund the American president. If you try that, that candidate is disqualified. Why can't we do that? I agree with what you have said. Everything about what you have said, I agree with you. They are very brutal, they are this, they are that, everything I agree. But I've also looked for SARS. SARS has interrogated me several times. And I found it difficult. At the point I was wondering, these SARS they are talking, where are they? I'm looking for them. Dr. The stop, sir. What are you? Who owns this car? It's me, sir. Good morning, sir. I came out, sir. This, sir. These are my things, sir. Can I come out? Yes. You can go. I will never be rude to a policeman, no matter how rude he is to me. I know that there are other instances, but I have passed through so many of those task points and all that. They have not called me and all that. So I knew something must be wrong. If we could be a bit more, respect them a bit. I know that some of them have drink all sorts of things though, but I'm sure that it would have gone down a bit. Yes, SARS has done that, but they have done good too. They have done good. They have done good, oh. I agree with you, they have done good. Thank you very much.
Let me quickly respond to Dr. Onkom, who is one of the opinion formers and leaders of this states that we respect a lot. Dr. Onkom is not less than 45, 50. So SARS do not profile him as a threat. And that is our point. 2 years ago or thereabouts,
he's a respected surgeon.
Yes, he's a respected surgeon and consultant. 2 years ago, in this Abeokuta, at Kuto, a medical doctor was assaulted by SARS and was taken to their office in Magbon. He was asthmatic. They refused to allow him his inhaler. It was the NMA chairman of the state that had to come down to come and take him. Was that doctor also rude? And I must also clear this donation issue. The people that are sending money from abroad are young Nigerians that have suffered this thing before going abroad.
Who have shared their story.
Iyaboyeji stays in USA. He is on one presidential committee in Nigeria here. And he has told them that, look, I'm with my people on this. People like Otedola's daughter, DJ Copy, are the ones that are putting their money down. So it is not foreigners, it is Nigerians that are sending in their money because they know where the shoe pinch is.
I paid yesterday.
Yeah, see, we are the ones that are crowdfunding it. We don't have money. Yes, we don't have money. But out of 5,000, if I send 2,000,
500 naira will do.
500 naira will do. Do you know the population of Nigerian youth? 75% of Nigeria's population is below 35. 75% is below 35. So even if it is Toro, Kobo, Owo Alata, Owo Niru, Owo Niyo, we would put it together the same way politicians come around and donate. Do not forget that in February, Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State asked the Nigerian people to donate
for his campaign.
Not for his campaign, for the gas explosion that happened in Nabuliado also. Yes, or something. So crowdfunding is not illegal. It is what our government and politicians
and
also
do. Monitored.
And it can be monitored. We have the list of people that are donating if they want. But no, they should not label them terrorists. They should not label us terrorists.
I think that was what CBN wanted to clarify, and I think they were able to get details of
yes,
so that they can vet and see whether they're terrorists or not. All right, we're going to break for the national news at 10. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Keep your comments and contribution coming. We'll be back. Stay with us. of the show. This morning, we're looking at the youth movement and agitation to end SARS and put an end to police harassment, youth profiling, police brutality, and senseless killings of Nigerian youth who are caught in their prime, mostly innocent youth who actually do not have anything to do with criminality, and the ones actually on the receiving end of this brutality of men of the SARS. And of course, we have in the studio two gentlemen. One is an internet entrepreneur and public affairs analyst, Opeyemi Ajala, joining us in the studio, and a legal practitioner and human rights activist, Habeeb. Whyte. Of course, we will welcome more of your contributions, and we'll take them. And one after that, we'll go with the calls first, and we take some of the tweets, and then we come back to the guest to respond and answer your questions.
All right, 08107860000 or 0701-132-7096. The Facebook fan page is Rockcity FM 101.9. The Twitter handle is at Rockcity FM. The short code 33120 or 35131 for 9 mobile subscribers. Please turn down the volume on your radio set when you call, and of course, do not make claims you cannot substantiate. Thank you for your understanding. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Olabode Adegun's my name. Since the wake of this agitation, been pointing it out myself on different media platforms. Not even knowing that the legal luminary himself, Baba Falana, is in consonance with that line of thought. Part of what I really think should occupy prominent place in the police reformation, the proposed police reformation, is that of the name, the Nigerian Police Force. That last word, force, to me, is primitive, undemocratic, and it is unbefitting of an organization in this civilized age, saddled with the responsibilities of having a direct interaction with the civilian masses in ensuring the security of their lives and properties. So, some have argued that, a change in name is insignificant in recording a change in service discharge. I don't agree. The whole Nigerian prison service wouldn't have been changed to the Nigerian Correctional Centers if that argument is correct. So it still wouldn't strip the operatives any expected professionalism in their service delivery. But it will add to the tendency, psychologically speaking, the tendency of improving its quality. So, and the use of force would only be brought into use where it is strictly, direly, professionally, and legally necessary. So that is my submission as regards that. So, and secondly, everything still boils down to one very thing. Corruption, and a whole lot of votes we have in this nation. Any nation where injustice and unfairness thrives, this is what we will be saying. So now, look at non-commensurate remuneration of workers, not only the police, the civil service in general. So if you first to make a speech in time, it will definitely save 9. So everything boils down to you not doing the right thing at the right time. So this is the kind of thing we'll be seeing in our nation. So may God just help us. I may still have time to, maybe not necessarily today, maybe some other time to
all right.
Expatiate much more better on that.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Simiat.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen there.
Good morning, sir.
I can feel your passion. Thank you very much. God bless you. We pray that things will go well in the country. This morning, just this morning, I was discussing my son. Was 3 years old. We agreed that it should be a liquor consumer. It should be, the beginning of our struggle to free ourselves from government of this country, which is not thinking about our progress. So it has just started. Let's continue like that. The way we, go for this SARS to be removed is the way we should continue our struggle to see that Nigeria is restructured. our commonwealth to be evenly distributed. Look at the money the politicians are earning. Last week we learned that Ajala was earning 30 million. Nigerian legislation, what are they earning? More than 10 million every month. What are they doing there? That's the structure. Come on. The presidential system of government is too costly. It's costing a lot of. Let us go back to parliamentary system and let things work and be. Thank you for that.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Leke.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Presenter, and good morning, guys. See, I would like to talk about three things, yes, and the presenters have talked about NSAS, and also we need to look at increment of police salaries. The police salary are not being given a good salary. They are earning less. The people we are asked to protect us are earning less than 70,000 naira. That's unfair. That will give a police an opportunity to beef a youth that is making good money. When a youth is driving Lexus, the youth that has went through so many process of maybe programming and arranging data on his head is making money, and you are on the road holding a gun and you are earning less than 70,000 naira. There's no way there will be beef between you and the youth. There's no way you won't get angry that you are starting this one and this one is driving a Lexus. Come down here. I've been harassed by a SARS before. I know how it feels. You can't just move around and dress around and just dress normally without being harassed by SARS. They will ask you to bring your phone, they want to search. They will ask you to bring your phone, they want to check your Facebook. This is unfair, but I feel if the federal government can increase the police salary, it will give them a kind of confidence that they earn well. It will make them focus more on what they are supposed to do and not target anybody that is earning well. Yes, if the SARS is, if they can end SARS, yes, the second stage is all these fraud staff got us here in the first place. But you don't need to be on the road, hold a gun, before you can get first stars information. If a SARS wants to work, he knows what to do and how to get these first stars. They can get them. Dubai got us properly without using police now. They don't need to carry automatic weapon and tell us they will shoot us. During the protest, a lot of people were shot. Why would you give a police an automatic weapon with almost 30 rounds to do what? No be Boko Haram they go now. We no carry weapon. We just protest normally. Each one on they carry weapon. So they need to look at NSAS, not change the name. If you want to change the name, don't put the previous police officers there. Employ new graduates. Employ graduates. Look at the entry rate. Look at the way they are being trained. Employ new graduates, put them in SWAT, fine. Look at the salary. Increase the salary so that it can be attractive to them. Then come back with police reformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, our guest.
Good morning.
My name is Tobi Omolabu. I'm calling from Abaru. Honestly, I'm in support of an organized protest. But what the protest is going haywire and it's been hijacked by hoodlums. You know, when I was in my university, we've made protests before, and we've got our challenges. And when it was being hijacked by hoodlums, the students were killed, and we are still having such occurrences in different times. Now, the ground is this, that if an organization or a system or youth per se, is agitating for a red cause, that is constant. I think everybody, every legacy work should support that cause. But we should mentor this youth on how to protest. Now, why don't we have
a body that will fight or, an instrument that will protest. Having those people that will protest, maybe their names written in a particular, file, knowing themselves, and in case unforeseen contingencies, who to be brought to book. But if it's a situation where you are protesting for a particular, and before you know what is happening, you are outside there, you don't know who has mingled up with you and causing me. Some are just looking for what they are going to eat. And if you cannot control them, why are you making up protests that will be losing lives? I don't agree to where you lose life. So that is my ground about who love IT. So
all right.
Look for a way. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning again. Simiat, Abaru, and Tobi Joseph.
Good morning.
My name is Paul Oni. I'm calling from òkúta. Good morning, Habeeb and Ajala.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for your submission. I love your spirit and I love your energy. So I will want to advise you. As an elderly person, as a father to you people, and as a retired military officer, I want to give you my candid opinion and advice. Number one, all your protests against SARS cannot work if you do not have the solution to propound and to put forward. You don't have the solution, as far as I'm concerned. Because the alternatives you are giving, the solutions you are propounding cannot work. We cannot allow criminals to roam the street. You cannot tell me that criminals are not taking part in what you are doing. Your explanation of the Surulere incident is not the whole truth, as far as I'm concerned. Then, what is the solution? The solution is very simple. Decentralization. That is the solution. And you say, okay, you are only fighting to end SARS, you are collecting money all over the places to end SARS. Is SARS the problem of Nigeria? Are they not an integral problem of the hydra-headed problems we have? You are fighting symptoms. You say you are fighting, you want to change the society. How do you change the society when you say, I'm not fighting for the change of this, I'm not fighting for change of that? The only that aspect that attacks the criminal elements among us seriously is what you have put here. Like the doctor said, I have not seen. I've been driving all over the place, even though I do not doubt that they commit all these atrocities. I've never seen it as far as I'm concerned. I see them holding even Yahoo boys and releasing them, smiling with them and all that. That is the corruption in our society. What we need to do is to tell the IGP to amp up all these special organization of police. We already have it in the police. We have the CID. Why will you make the commissioner of police independent of the state governor, and then you create a corporate all the way from Abuja to be answerable only to one person in Abuja over the head of the commissioner of police that is already in the state? What is the work of the CIDs that we have before? What is the work of the mobile police that can react? What is the work of a whole command for robbery in the state? That you are creating another organization, a corporal and inspector will report over the head of the commissioner direct to the Inspector General of Police.
10 seconds.
What kind of chain of command is that? That is what we are supposed to fight. That is what we are supposed to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. We'll pick two more calls, that we check our messages and allow our guests to react to them. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, that's Mike Johnson. I'm calling from Rwanda. You see, nobody against the SARS. You see, what we are is the modus operandi. Now, the SARS that have been bound, they should be integrated, they should be retrained, absorb them into mobile police force, because the mobile police force knows how to tackle banditry and serious rioting. Then they should now be deployed to work at banditry and then stubborn criminalities. This is what we are advocating for, and I think that will be the best thing ever. All the civil societies they are calling, that is what they should be, make it an input that these people should be absorbed into the police force maybe with a different type of other beret or uniform, so that they will face the banditries and other forms of crime. If you say they should go away completely, then criminals take over the day. Even though the harassment of the SARS is too, like me, I've not harassed twice before. So, but I will not say they should condemn them totally. I'm not for that. We should reabsorb them if they move up to limit. That would be very okay with me. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
my
morning.
sister.
Good morning.
Good morning, Toby.
Good morning.
I greet the guests in the house. Good morning to us all. God bless us all. I'm Kyle Olumide from Abaru. Police brutalities. Let me say this. In every organization or ministry, police not exclusive now. I think there will be opportunities to fail, and just like some people do fail. But then when you continue to fail and continue to make mistake, then people will cancel you. And that was exactly what happened, that we are supporting that and SARS or whatever you call it. You see, when you are no more probably wanted around you anymore, I think these are the things you must probably see as challenges against your name, against your institution or whatever. I was privileged to be in one program yesterday. And then I was made to understand that police DPO in a particular station, they are probably been not given walkie-talkie to work with. And then they buy their own handcuffs themselves. So how do you now expect such police to perform and not to go on the streets to begin to collect money from Yahoo boys or from anybody at all? I wonder in this country. I wonder whether any of our leaders are yet to probably there to encourage to seek usefulness, that they should not even continue to stay in their puddle of failures. You see, good leaders should encourage other people to get out of their failure. But what our leaders are doing is to encourage the police to continue to be more cruel and to be more harsh and to limit the people that they are supposed to probably choose for, to allow for law and order to probably engage. Unfortunately, this is where we are now. And we have continued to be labeled as a third world country. For how long should we continue to stay in the puddle of our failures in this particular identity? So this brutality, we will not probably see it going. If this what they are probably bringing now, we continue without changing the behavior or probably differentiating between behavior and.
All right. Thank you so much for your contributions. Our guests, over to you.
Yeah, I want to clearly react on the issue of the SWAT and the system to which they were bringing new officers. Like one of our callers have said, I want to re-echo that point, that most of our graduates, they are unemployed. So it is time for you to please employ them in that new unit. Don't bring in new officers. Employ our graduates and make all those officers to work with them. I think it will be better, because I think they have seen a lot and they want to make the country proud. We are ready to serve. Please employ us as SWAT officials, so we will serve better and we will not fail our country.
Okay, let me just say this. Babatunde Omolaolu, I want to say categorically to what you said, that over 15 people that have been killed since this protest started last week have all been killed by the Nigerian police force. There is nowhere where you have seen an hijack of protest by hoodlums. None. I put it to you, you cannot give me any evidence of such, because there is none. We've seen youths mobilize and organize logistics. These are things that government departments and agencies have not been able to do. They organize their logistics to the point where they bring food for the people that are protesting. They bring ambulance so that anybody that faints will be treated. The people that were shot by the police were treated by the ambulance supplied by the youths. And they do not just do that, they clean up after themselves. So there has been no hijack of any of these NSAS protests. The only people that are killing people are the police. And you should direct whatever concern you have about the peaceful nature of the protest to the killers, not the people that have not killed anybody. Now, you also say that we should have a central body to centralize and negotiate. See, this is not economic protest. This is not a protest to change government. This is not a protest to embarrass government. This is a protest for our lives. If the government wants everybody to leave, it's on the placards. What they need to do is on the placards. They don't need anybody. See, the youths have already organized amongst themselves. There is absolutely no leader. There are leaders, but there is no leader. And it is not just a Nigerian thing. We are all leaders. It is not just a Nigerian thing. The Gen Zs have said that, look, we are going to democratize. Do not forget that they are the only ones that have lived through democracy all along. We are going to democratize everything. And they are taking their cue from what Gen Zs are doing in Hong Kong, in the protest in Hong Kong, in the protest in Belarus. You will see 20, 30 leaders where one cannot call all the others and say we should end. Because everybody's position is clear. Once it is acceded to, everybody would leave. Paul Oni, sir, you are somebody I respect a lot, and I've met you one-on-one before. You said we do not have solutions. Sir, the solutions, we've already said it here. But like I said, the older generation has refused willfully not to listen. Because we've said it. He has just said it again. Do not take all the... See, we don't have the assurance. The police IG has not told us that, these former SARS officers are not going to be inside SWAT. He has not given us that assurance. And even if he gives us, we are not sure it will be followed through, because this will not be the first time that he's given us an assurance that he will not follow through. Solution: apologize to the people that you wrongfully accused. Apologize to the protester that you brutalized. Pay them compensation and charge the officers that are responsible to court. You categorically said it when you were talking, Sir Paul Oni. You said we cannot tell you anything. And that it epitomizes the problem that we have with this. You are not listening to us, sir. I beg of you, just listen and understand. Try as much as possible to empathize. And then you say, is NSAS the only problem of Nigeria? See, you don't start climbing a tree from the top. You start from the bottom. Let us end SARS first. Then maybe the governors themselves that want state police, they should join us and carry their own placard and say state police.
Or they would wake up from their slumber and say, okay, let Amotepo eventually
take
over
the police structure.
The challenge of fighting armed robbery.
Armed robbery. Exactly. So maybe Amotepo will now be the new SARS. And then we can know that, if I have a problem with Amotepo, I go to Okemoson. If I'm in Ibadan, I go to the state secretariat. Ababa from Rounder and Kayode Olumide, you called, and I can see that you get it. You understand. You feel this pinch. And what I can ask you to do is to please try as much as possible to educate your friends so that they will know how we feel. They will know where... they are stepping on our necks and we can't breathe. Allow us to breathe. We are not even asking for light or good roads or regime change. Just don't kill us. Stop harassing us. Stop extorting us. Is that too much to ask? Why is it that a rogue unit of 10,000 officers is the ill that the Nigerian government wants to kill itself over? Why? So help us to tell them. You also mentioned that police officers are buying their own handcuffs and other things. We are saying the same thing. Why are the police killing us when we are fighting for them? It is literally one of the 6 points that we are asking the government to do. Increase their pay, give them correct gears. We are fighting for you. Stop killing us. Go.
Okay.
Let's try to check some. Okay, so many to go. All right, Billionaire Jisha first says, okay, let me start with Dr. Ayedon Isaiah. Dr. Ayedon Isaiah says, the rise and fall of SARS in Nigeria. 1, do we blame it on the leadership of police in Nigeria or government? 2, can Nigerians cope with the criminal activities rampant in Nigeria without SARS? That's 1. Jamiu Aziz says, one thing is for sure, SWAT has been prepared before now, waiting for an opportunity to launch it. And of course, and here is it. Poloni says, this protest are protests against one symptom of our hydra-headed problems. The protest that we need should be for a holistic restructure of this unitary system of government that has constitutionalized slavery, not this one that cannot be separated from the tainted bad eggs. Jami Aziz says, it is quite unfortunate that the president is not responsive to the plight of Nigerians. I wonder who rules the country, the president or the presidency. Dr. Ayedu Isaiah again says, a good leader should not be misinformed unless such a leader is not capable to be a leader. May God liberate Nigeria. Poloni again says, the Surulere event cannot be what you are portraying when we know that the anti-kidnapping police unit was attacked by armed hoodlums. While I totally agree with you, the Surulere incident is one that stands out differently. And he said again, SWAT is same of same. Nothing has been done. To do the right thing is simply for the IGP to hands off totally, decentralize, and let the normal CID under the state command do their job. If you need any tactical deployment, use the mobile police to act on the intelligence gathered. Billionaire Jishafe says there is root in Nigerian police. The force must be profiled, checked completely, psychologically, medically, and intellectually. Their wickedness began when Dele Udo was murdered in
1981.
in cold blood in 1990s. That's 1991. Norway security don't kill their citizens. Mossad never assault Jews. Why is Nigerian police killing us? Truth be told, always. That's the name of the person sending this. The protest ends SARS is a good one from Nigerian youth with common cause to stop the brutality that has characterized their daily attitude. Nigerian police is one of the greatest problem Nigeria is facing because of the brutality, high-handedness, detention of innocent Nigerians. All right, we have more messages here. We have truth be told continuing in their cells across the nation, bribery and corruption, extortion, and many. The Nigerian police need total and drastic overhauling, which is what End Police Brutality Nigeria hashtag is all about. All right. Honorable Adimolake Vanguard says, clearly, if everyone who has had unpleasant experience with the men of the defunct SARS is allowed to share their experience with emotions, we might say things we ordinarily shouldn't have said. We, however, align with the guest. There must be an end to police brutality. Ismail Mayowa Fadeyi says qualification for recruiting people into the Nigerian police force should be raised to a minimum of HND or BSc to reduce the number of miscreants among them. Mental evaluation should be done on those to be absorbed into the force and on those already in the force on regular basis. Dr. Ayedu Isaiah Shegun again says, no matter the abrogation of SARS, to your guest, don't you think if police are not well remunerated, there is no other squad government will put in place that would perform miracle? The Explorer says this is part of Barrister Habeeb. We're just saying now that one not only end SARS, we are calling for. Okay, we're not talking about NSAS alone. Good governance in Nigeria is also part of the things we're talking about. Imagine listening to the program now, and NEPA, or what did they call themselves? Taking electricity. Billionaire Jishefe says, for the police in Nigeria to change, they must emerge from the moon until quota system of recruitment into security agencies reviewed. Police will continue to be chain agent instead of agent of change. My philosophy is that Nigeria stands Nigeria go to the moon? Seriously. We have too many messages, so many messages. Dr. Edo again says it is not only SARS that should be abrogated, but the trace in Ogun State needs to be restructured. The ways and manners their men are carrying out their operations. It is high time Ogun State government did something before it is too late. Official says thanks and God bless. Okay, building our future together. That's one of the tweet we got. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You can keep the messages coming.
Yes, your response, please. Continue.
Okay. Let me quickly address one tweet by Elder Poloni and also by another person. That would we allow criminals to roam if we end SARS? I would like to ask them to point out in the recent time, in the last 3 years, how many times they heard that SARS stopped a major armed robbery of any bank or any other place. What you will see in news week in, week out about SARS is that they have arrested somebody illegally, they have extorted somebody, they've run amok. SARS has not caught robbers. Nobody calls SARS when it comes to robbers anymore. They just come and they say, hey, we are doing something on it. And we have already seen, especially like what happened on Monday, that some of the people that they parade as robbers may probably not be robbers. There are people that they have personal issues with that they are now parading as robbers. Then Poloni mentioned that two suspected kidnappers were reportedly liberated. Now, this is in the official news released by the police of Lagos, that protesters entered the police station and liberated two suspected kidnappers from the cell. We have not seen any single evidence of protesters in police station. We have videos, evidence that the protester did not even enter the police station at all. Now, I challenged the Lagos State Police Command. What are the names of the kidnappers that were released? We don't have that. The names of the officers that killed their own fellow officer and used that as a pretext to unleash violence on peaceful protesters, we don't know their name. We don't. They've not been arrested. They've not been prosecuted. There is no orderly room trial. And you want Nigerian youth to trust this police to make sure that SARS officers do not go into SWAT? It will comes to equity, should come with clean hands.
Yes, I want to make a quick reaction, and I want to beg all Nigerians who listen to this. Please, this protest is about us, and it is for us. There are no leaders in this protest. Please, do not, I'm saying it, don't be deceived by all these your people that you call celebrity in one way or the other, youth, that will go back door to take money from politicians or those are in government. Please, these are not the youth to follow. The main youths, our leaders, are the ones on the streets taking the placard, taking the protest to the appropriate quarters. Please do not be deceived, do not engage in such, because this cause is a cause for posterity, and posterity will judge us all. And to those youths that are into this kind of things, when you have situations like this, you want to go and meet the politicians, the governor, the SA to get money on behalf of other youths, please, posterity will also judge you guys. Thank you very much.
And also, internet fraudsters should not think that this protest is about them.
That we are fighting for
that
them.
We are fighting for them.
Not.
This protest by Nigerian youth is not about them.
I think the youth should also face them after this agitation.
See, like I said, it is small by small now. It is small by small. Nobody is doing NDFCC. Let EFCC continue to do its job.
Nobody is saying NDRRS.
Nobody is saying NDRRS. Nobody is saying NCID. Why always SARS? For years now. Why?
All right, we'll continue with the call 08107860000. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. My name is Shagun from Ajala.
Thank you for
Number
calling.
one, I have to salute the courage of the youth presently demonstrating in Nigeria, because this is the first step in the right direction. We're not talking about students this time around, that students are demonstrating. It's the youth. If you are saying these are the youth of tomorrow, the leaders of tomorrow, I think we want to see them agitating for their rights. right now. And that's number one. Number two, why you see the National Assembly addressing this issue as quickly as possible is because they don't have anywhere to go presently. Most of them will have been out of the country, but because they have nowhere to go, the president cannot go outside, nobody can go outside now. So they know that if this thing escalates, it's going to be more than what you have just started. You are addressing an issue that has to do with killing, incessant killing, injustice. You made mention of something that, look, we're not asking you about the road that is yet on track, the uncompleted project that was abandoned or that has been, but you're asking for why should any policeman in his right senses will stop somebody and, shoot aside, even if there's demonstration. You understand? That is number two. Number three, the purpose of what you are doing now, please don't let anybody hijack it. It is very, very important that you are fighting a cause. And I am very sure you have lawyers, look at yesterday, the lawyers in Lagos, they've started their. So and all these lawyers to fall into the same category of youth, because I know most of them, when I saw them on TV yesterday, they are not, most of them are not more than 32, 34, 40, 50, or thereabouts. This is very important. But please, just stay on course. You are still coming back to ask them for more things. Electricity is there, no road, no health, all these other things will fall in place. Let's fight this one, and when you are through,
10 seconds.
God will see all of us through in Nigeria. It is totally, what they are doing is totally unacceptable. If they want to do, somebody was talking about taking them to the north, or if they want to be restricted to stop and...
All right, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ola Shamu is the name calling from òkúta. How I wish I'm still a youth. I don't qualify to be in your category again because I already have youth as kids. But you will have no choice than to salute your effort at taking care of your future. The others have not been able to do this for you, particularly as per the police brutality. As organized as your protests are, you have shown the authorities, and the authorities have, appalled to your request. Because if the authorities have not responded positively, who knows how far this has gone. And they know very well that we can't afford to have a Tunisian situation on our hands because of it being hijacked inadvertently. Yes, you don't have the central leadership. Are we still together, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're with you.
Yes, you don't have the central leadership. But I assume the strategy you adopted was and is still a decentralized leadership situation that was not imposed, emanated from the field. That is just something I cannot argue about. But as it was, I have a mandate for you. You pushed it this far. Don't push it beyond. However, let it be known to the authority that SWAT is to play a role between the regular police and the army. Army is to kill, to defend the integrity. The police is to maintain peaceful coexistence in a civil way. Then the start within. Where SWAT has to come out to not and could never be the way SARS operated. Has to only be called upon where it is mostly required for them to come out to defend the situation where the police, a regular police corps, could not be. They should not be seen on the roads, checking papers, checking laptops, checking iPod, or anything. They should be shown in an emergency situation, prepared to be called out and withdraw back to their jail, not to be seen as a regular force on the road. If you can't achieve that, then this whole thing is a failure, apart from trying to say that they should work on the police authority to be safe and be kind of responsive to the citizens in their undertaking. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you for your contribution. Let's get to hear.
That'll be the final call we can take. Let's quickly wrap up.
Yes. The caller that spoke before, Olani Mashaun, talked about lawyers. Yes, like I said, this is not a fight of internet fraudsters. This is a fight by young professionals saying, let us leave. And so we have over 600 lawyers on standby for anybody that has been arrested. Anybody that has been arrested, they will have lawyers to represent them. And my Oga BBA is also one of them. Oladi Mashaun, thank you very much for your contribution, and it shows that you actually get our concern, and it is part of the things that you've been speaking about on this forum for years. But I would like to also talk about the chain of command in the police. Not just this IGP, various IGPs have said it several times. Have ordered their men that they should stop checking phones and laptops without court mandates, but they still do it. If the IG of police can say, tell his men, you have no right to check people's phones, yet they continue to do that, how will the Nigerian youths be sure that when he says, don't kill peaceful protesters, they would listen? Because even right now, we have unconfirmed reports of shooting going on somewhere else, right now as we are in the studio. And that is a concern, because the IG himself has not even come out to address the protesters. Let him come out of Louis Edet house, come downstairs and meet the peaceful protesters in Abuja, who since Saturday have continued to be brutalized by first the Nigerian police, now the Nigerian army. Yet they have not destroyed any single thing. Nobody in Abuja has destroyed any single thing. If you say Surulere, there was crowd. In Abuja, what was the offense? And that is the problem. There is no goodwill. There is no show of good faith. The police has not apologized for the people they tried to frame for killing one of their officers. How can there be justice? How can there be peace without restitution?
Yes, lastly, I would like to tell all youths in Abeokuta that right now, at the moment, there is a peaceful march, a peaceful protest going on to end SWAT. If you want to show your responsibility or your responsiveness, please join that peaceful protest right now. It is ongoing right now. Very peaceful. The police are even with us. They are not killing Abeokuta. We are a standard for other states. We are a pace-setter state.
Yes.
So just join us and let us end SWAT. The police are with us.
All right. Thank you so much for your invitation, gentlemen. I appreciate you. We hope that we'll continue to witness peaceful protests across the country until the government actually make concrete steps, decisive actions that everyone can see to actually end this protest. Everyone who is protesting in Abeokuta, elsewhere in Ogun State or across the country this morning or today should make sure that they go about it peacefully. And of course, we have a weapon, and that is our phones. So please capture. I know we have photographers and videographers, those who are operating drones actually, to monitor the situation. Make sure that you have evidence of every brutality, every harassment of every youth or anyone protesting today across the country. That's our show this Wednesday morning. I am Tobi Joseph.
And I am Simiat Abaru. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.